I think what Rich Bisaccia has done this year is incredible. And I think he deserves a ton of credit. And I think he deserves legitimate consideration to be the Raiders' next head coach. And that's obviously not a unique take. I would be careful. I would always be careful in situations where I'm not going to say you are hiring emotionally, but where you're kind of in the moment, in the glow of your recent love.
Singletary?
To not, yeah. Singletary, really a lot of interim coaches. And sometimes sometimes what happens to you by accident is better than whatever you could manipulate for yourself. And maybe this is one of those situations. But there are some really good coaching candidates out there right now, from Brian Flores to Doug Peterson to Jim Harbaugh potentially for the Raiders. And I would make sure I'm doing my full due diligence, or to whatever extent Mark Davis does, before I hired Rick Bisaccia. I would not just go, this is awesome, we're a hiring coach, he's staying, everybody, and the locker room would love it, and everyone would love it. It'd be a cool moment. But I'd make damn sure he's the best coach you can get, and that he's better for you than Doug Peterson, he's better for you than Brian Flores, he's better for you than whoever else, and that he's better for you than Jim Harbaugh before I do that. And I don't know that there is I don't know. I'm hard-pressed finding a situation where he could win. Like, if he wins the Super Bowl, I guess you just got to give him the job, right? Yeah. Without doing any due diligence. If he takes you to the AFC Championship game, do you just give him the job? That's what I'm kind of grappling with right now, is if you feel the way I feel, is there anything he can do that you just go, you know what, screw it, I'm just giving it to you? Because there is a point where you go, you know what, maybe I don't fully understand what's happening here. For him to take that team to the AFC Championship game, who cares if I think Jim Harbaugh's the better coach? He just went to the AFC Championship game, and I got to give him the job. I don't. That's what I'm struggling with right now if I were in Mark Davis's shoes.
I do think if Jim Harbaugh wants the job, and, I think you've heard some things, he's getting the job. It's like the John Gruden thing. It's just going to happen. And I don't know. I mean, we'll see. I go back and forth. Like, do I believe that's going to happen? I'm kind of rooting for it. I mean, Jim has his defensive coordinator out there. Couldn't he just get the band back together? Jim, Vic Fangio, let's rock and roll.
Yeah. Yep.
I think Mark Davis. I do not expect Mark Davis to keep Rich.
So what would it take?
No, I don't expect him to hire like Kellen Moore or Brian Daboll. Like, in what world would you think that those guys would be better than what you have?
No. To me, if Jim Harbaugh weren't out there,
it's more Flores, Doug Peterson. There are guys that have just been head coaches that I think.
But it's like, if specifically Jim Harbaugh wasn't out there, I think he'd hire Rich Bisaccia. I think I go back to what I always say. The circle is small. He stays in the circle historically. With just organizationally, it's a lot of promoting from within, which can be a very good thing. But John Madden, big Harbaugh fan. Surely him and Mark Davis talked about him over the years. Mark wanted to hire him, maybe, right? The last time Jim was available. Maybe they got down that road. I think if the Raiders had lost this last week and they weren't in the playoffs, I think Jim might be the coach by tomorrow. Charles Woodson, also in the circle. I don't know what there's probably some Charles Woodson, Jim Harbaugh quotes out there. I don't know what they are. But, who is in Mark Davis's circle?
Marcel Reese.
Marcel Reese, yes, he is. I would imagine him and Marcel Reese talked about it the last time around. Probably has some favorable things to say. Ron Wolf.
Ron Wolf still alive?
That's why I said it with a question mark.
Yes, he is.
Okay. So, but surely over the years they've talked about it. I mean, Ron Wolf scouted Jim Harbaugh.
83, Ron Wolf.
Okay. But the circle's not big. So Jim Harbaugh is in Mark Davis's, he's not in the circle, but he is in the atmosphere for Mark.
Do you know what year Ron Wolf started as a scout for the Al Davis and the Oakland Raiders?
1972.
1963.
Woo! Wow.
1963.
What year did Madden retire from playing?
Well, I think he just, after Cal Poly, I think he was an undrafted free agent with the Eagles and like Chuck Ben York or a guy like that, and he got hurt in like training camp and never made it far. So then,
But I just mean
right
like
into coaching. So like 19.
But my question is, did
19
Ron Wolf scout John Madden the player? Is what I'm getting at.
No, Madden graduated Cal Poly 58, so his last year playing would have been like 58, 59.
Okay.
You know you're old if you scouted John Madden the player coming out of Cal Poly.
Yeah, I mean, you said 63.
63, yeah.
So, does that mean like there were some players he liked that like went to war?
Like Vietnam?
Yeah.
Surely, yeah. I'm sure, yeah.
Like, man, he could have been a good player, but
Or
I
hey,
don't know
when
how
this
that-
guy gets back, if he makes it back, let's keep an eye on him, see how he's doing.
and I'm not trying to be funny. I just
no.
saw someone made the comment in the stream. HR said in 63 Pops went to Nam.
I think enough time has passed that you can make a subtle joke.
It's not even a joke. I mean, I'm just blown away. I mean, that's wild. The amount of football that he's seen.
A lot.
Imagine. I would love to see Ron Wolf when Brandon Staley went for it on 4th and 1 from his own 18-yard line, down by 3 in the third quarter.
I think a lot. What would you imagine the most reaction around the league? I don't think Brandon Staley is well liked with coaches.
So, John, who's the guy who's on the Washington football team? Scott Turner.
Oh yeah, I saw something on Twitter. He kept changing his profile pic or
So
something.
somebody DM'd me the other day and was like, "You should look into Scott Turner. He changed his
Norv's
Twitter
kid.
photo." Oh, is that his Norv's kid?
I think so. Yeah.
He changed his Twitter photo to a Raiders like shirt. That means Harbaugh was supposed to come because he's Harbaugh's guy. He was at Michigan with Harbaugh.
Scott Turner was.
Yeah. So I go to Scott Turner's Twitter page, and obviously it's changed back. It's football team. But his last tweet was something that was clearly, I thought, anti-Brandon Staley. I don't know if it's still up. Let me see. Are you on his Twitter page right now?
No, I went to his Wikipedia. He spent a year at offensive analyst at Michigan.
Yeah. So here you go. Let me throw this up here. So January 9th, what time did that game? Yeah. There's no question in my mind what Scott Turner was tweeting about here. Scott Turner at 9:18 p.m.
Yeah,
tweeted.
That would have been, yeah.
Look what he tweeted. Guru ball. He's talking shit about Staley right there.
Because he thinks he knows everything.
So my thought, so what I said, what I DM'd the person back was, well, is it possible he changed to a Raiders shirt photo just as like a fuck yeah? Like the Raiders just took down Mr. Guru ball?
Maybe, but he's never coached for the Raiders, just as like a pro or an anti Brandon Staley.
But good point. That would mean he had to Photoshop himself in a Raiders hat and shirt. Who did that for him?
He's 39 years old. You think he could know how to? I don't know how to Photoshop.
Somebody in the office? One of Harbaugh's guys? Maybe you do. I don't know.
Feels like a lot of work.
Guru ball.
Do you think when they say a Harbaugh guy, 2017 offensive analyst is the only year he's ever been around Jim Harbaugh?
Well, I think their point was he's coming with Jim. He knows him. You're just putting the internet theories together. Put the Raiders thing on, knows Jim. He must be coming with Jim.
That's where people were freaking out.
Yeah.
Because I saw a bunch of people on the internet. I was like, I don't understand. He's just wearing a Raider polo.
Accidentally update? Are you
Raider
like just
sweatshirt.
seeing what it looks like and then you accidentally hit change and someone's like, I'm watching Scott Turner's Twitter page. I just saw it.
Ron Rivera has multiple coaches that are pretty active on Twitter.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, I'd hire Jim too. I still at this point think it's happening. Still got to get by Kansas City, right? Before you get to the Super Bowl. So a lot would have to happen there for Rich. But I think he's earned a legitimate consideration without question. But I would not hire if they lose this week and Jim Harbaugh's available. What happens if they win this week? It's the other thing. Like, are people, coaches start going off the table the longer you have to wait.
I think you got another 10 days. I don't think we'll have a hire for another 10 days.
But what I'm saying is, 10 days is next. So if you win in the first round of the playoffs,
only
people
one
are getting hired during.
But only one franchise is really ready to hire a coach because these other teams don't even have GMs.
That's true.
I think they got a lot. Like, do you think the Minnesota Vikings, Chicago Bears right now know what they want to do? Like, they just kind of try to interview people and figure out as they go. Like, I don't think
they know.
And this was my thing on, like, if Mark Davis wants to hire Jim Harbaugh, remember how he got in trouble last time with Gruden, the Rooney Rule
do.
thing?
But they actually made the Rooney rules a little stronger because of Mark. And Mark said at the time, like, you guys are crazy. Look at my GM. I hired Reggie McKenzie. What are you guys talking about? But
do you agree that if you want to hire Jim Harbaugh, you shouldn't have to interview anyone else?
I think if he wants to hire Jim Harbaugh, he's just gonna hire Jim Harbaugh. But I think the league is gonna give him a hard time.
No. Well, he'll do some fake interviews. But think how stupid that is.
Yeah, does anybody want to be fake interviewed? You want the experience.
Well, most teams are not hiring Jim Harbaugh. So you think, well, fuck, if I just get in front, I have a shot, right?
That's
Mike
right.
Tomlin style.
Yeah, right. I did not ask that question properly. Would anybody want a fake interview if everyone knew they were hiring Jim Harbaugh?
No, it's so stupid. Remember last time they interviewed T. Martin, who was a wide receiver coach at the time at USC. It's like, we really have to do
after
this?
the fact. It was after they started getting a little heat they interviewed T, right?
Oh, because the rumors were Gruden was coming.
I thought it kind of happened like as a throw-in late that they interviewed T.
Yeah, I think you're right. So now, what are the rules? You got to interview multiple Rooney Rule candidates?
Yeah, I don't remember how they changed because it's like the rules again are still kind of complicated.
Didn't Mark get fined?
I think maybe you have to. I think one of the rules is you have to interview like a sitting coordinator, maybe because T. Martin was not. What was T. Martin's role? You can't.
Yeah, wide receiver coach USC.
And then I think one of them is you can't interview somebody from your own team and have that count as a Rooney Rule interview.
Which is, I think, a lot of teams did, and it's kind of bullshit over the years. Just
But
take
I'm
a minority, take a minority candidate from their own staff. Especially, and here's what happens a lot when I fire Joe Judge. Like if I was John Mara and I wanted to cook the books on the Rooney Rule, I would just hire one of his staff members, who's a black guy, and that would count as my Rooney Rule. Which is like, you just fired the head coach. You're going to fire all these guys, but you just get it out of the way. That's where I think, and to me, that you shouldn't be allowed to do that because I don't think the Giants know who they're going to hire. But my issue is there should be a little like Will Anderson. There should be some waiver if this guy is good enough, right? If Sean Payton gets fired and I'm going to hire him, I don't need to interview anyone else. If I'm going to hire Mike Tomlin, and he's a bad example because he would count under it, but I don't need to interview another soul. Back in the day with Parcells when he was moving to different teams, like if I want to hire Bill Parcells, I don't need to interview anyone else. He's just so stupid in basketball, like the Pat Rileys, the Phil Jacksons, the Rick Carlisles. I think
Brian
with the Dayball's and everything.
To me, sure, it's just like you say to the league. I'm not interview like if you hire two people now. If you interview one person, then that's the person you hire. Then nobody says anything. But if you hire, I keep using the wrong word. If you interview more than one person, now you open yourself up to the full process. Maybe something like that. Is that kind of what you're saying?
I'm just saying there should be a level of candidate. The Harbaugh's clearly in. No one else.
But I don't know how you measure that other than did you just hire one person and do no interviews? That's to me how you measure it.
And his name was Jim fucking Harbaugh.
Right. but that's what I'm saying, though. If you did interviews, now, hold on, you're part of this process. But if you just hired somebody, quote unquote, sight unseen, like it's not an interview, you're just hiring the first person you talk to.
Well, but that's what I'm saying. Harbaugh, even Gruden, it didn't work out. I think as we all thought it was going to go. But at the time when they hired him, like you shouldn't. Why you have to if he wants to hire John Gruden and John Gruden wants the job, like it's done. There are certain candidates in any world, right, in any industry, where it's like if this guy wants a job, I'm going to offer him the job. The job's yours.